My name is Vincent. I've always held one belief close to my heart. Real love can't exist without trust. Strip away the trust, and love becomes nothing more than a well-dressed lie. That belief became painfully clear in my own story. I was once engaged to a woman named Casey. We had years of shared memories and plans. We built something we both thought would last forever, until the day I found out she was still going on dates with someone else. That moment shattered everything I thought I knew. It broke something deep inside me, something I don't think will ever fully heal. What happened that night changed the course of my life. And now, I want to walk you through exactly how it all unfolded. I first met Casey at a housewarming party thrown by a mutual friend. Our conversation began casually, nothing special at first, but somehow we got lost in it. We talked for hours like time didn't exist. After that, we kept in touch. In the beginning, it was light, coffee catch-ups here and there, lunch if we could manage to align our schedules. But slowly, we began to make more of an effort. Those quick meetups evolved into dinner dates, weekends spent together, and long late-night phone calls. Eventually, we became a couple. Officially, our relationship didn't explode into fireworks overnight. It was a slow burn, something that deepened with time. After over 3 years of dating, it felt strong and steady. By the second year, it became routine for Casey to spend her weekends at my place. She'd arrive Friday evening and stay through Sunday night. It felt natural, comfortable. She never officially moved in, but neither of us minded. My home gave us space to enjoy our time together without stepping on each other's toes. Her apartment was smaller. I'd go over sometimes, but living there full-time just didn't make sense for us. One thing I always admired about Casey was her willingness to open up. From the beginning, she shared pieces of her life, old relationships, mistakes she'd learned from, even the complicated parts of her family life. Nothing felt hidden. She often spoke about a childhood friend, someone she said was like a brother to her. She swore they had never been romantically involved. I didn't read too much into it. Why would I? She'd never given me a reason to question her. And when someone lays their past bare in front of you, it's easy to believe they're being genuine. Eventually, I proposed, and she said yes. We began planning our wedding. We talked about honeymoon ideas, tossed around names for the guest list, and even imagined what kind of house we might want down the line. I was committed emotionally, financially, completely. I started setting money aside, preparing for a future that I was sure we both wanted. But I would soon learn that even the clearest picture can hide cracks beneath the surface. One Friday evening, Casey showed up at my place, same as always, carrying her overnight bag. It felt comforting, familiar. Over dinner, she mentioned casually, in between bites, that she'd need to leave the next day to visit her parents. Family stuff, she said. I nodded. That was fine. She never really went into detail about her family issues, and I never pushed. I respected her privacy. She had never given me a reason not to trust her. After we ate, we moved to the couch like we always did and queued up a movie we had been meaning to watch all week. Midway through, I felt her head gently lean against my shoulder. She had drifted off. It wasn't unusual. She did that often when she was worn out. I wrapped my arm around her and let her sleep, watching the rest of the movie quietly on my own. But during that time, her phone kept lighting up. No sound, just screen after screen flashing to life. At first, I thought nothing of it. Probably a busy group chat. I assumed, once the credits rolled. I leaned forward, intending to wake her gently and take her to bed. Before I touched her, though, my eyes caught her phone again. I reached for it. Something instinctual, maybe, and what I saw on the lock screen made my heart freeze. The message previews. Those weren't words you send to someone you see as a brother. Casey and I had exchanged passwords early in our relationship. It was something we agreed to as a symbol of mutual trust. So without even hesitating, I entered her passcode and unlocked her phone. What I saw next is difficult to describe. The messages from her so-called childhood friend weren't harmless banter. They were laced with flirtation, private jokes, heart emojis, and worse, plans for the weekend. My eyes locked on one particular message from him, Can't wait to see you tomorrow. Her reply? Just a heart emoji followed by, told him I'm going to my parents. We're good. That hit like a punch to the gut. The timestamp showed it was sent just a few hours earlier, probably while we were sitting across from each other at dinner. I didn't wake her. I couldn't. I just sat there, motionless, staring at the woman resting so peacefully on my shoulder, while my mind unraveled. My chest felt hollow. I kept hearing the same question echoing in my head. Why wasn't I enough? What did I do to deserve this kind of betrayal? So calm, so rehearsed. She looked so innocent sleeping there. And yet, her phone told a different story. I stayed up most of the night, saying nothing, just thinking and breaking slowly. The next morning, she woke beside me like nothing had changed. She smiled, kissed me on the cheek, stretched her arms, and went about her usual routine. She brushed her teeth, came back into the room humming, tossed a few of her things into her overnight bag, and kept talking. She told me how much she'd miss me, how she wished the weekend didn't have to end, how maybe next time she'd leave work earlier, so we could have more time together. I nodded occasionally, but I barely spoke. Her words sounded hollow, rehearsed, like she'd practiced them in her head to sound natural. And maybe she had. Maybe it was all part of keeping both lives running in parallel, without slipping up. Eventually, she paused and looked at me, eyebrows knitting together. "Are you okay?" she asked, tilting her head slightly. I gave her my default response, the one I always used when I didn't want to open up. "I'm fine." She chuckled softly, completely unaware. "Ah, already missing me?" she teased, nudging my arm playfully like she always did when she thought I was being too serious. I forced a faint smile, but inside, I was holding back an ocean. That kind of silence, the kind you hold in your chest, it's heavier than any words. She picked up her bag and made her way to the front door. I followed out of habit. It had become a quiet ritual between us. I'd walk her to the door, open it, and she'd turn, smile, maybe kiss me goodbye before heading out. But not this time. This time, when I opened the door and she stepped just past the threshold, I didn't say, "Drive safe," or "Call me when you get there." Instead, I looked her in the eye and said flatly, "Good luck on your date." Her whole demeanor shifted in a heartbeat. Her smile vanished. Her face twisted as she tried to make sense of what I'd just said. Panic flickered in her eyes. "Wait, what? What are you talking about?" Her voice cracked. She looked stunned, but I didn't let her continue. I raised my hand gently, signaling her to stop. "Don't," I said firmly. "You don't need to explain." And with that, I closed the door. I barely took a step before the pounding started. Loud, urgent knocks. Then her voice, shaky, desperate, begging me to open the door, to talk, to hear her out. Her sobs followed, muffled by the wood between us. And then my phone began buzzing. Once, then again and again, message after message. But I didn't check it. I didn't need to. I'd already heard everything I needed to hear. I didn't need to check my phone to know it was her. Deep down, I already knew. Still, I swiped to confirm, and there they were. Message after message flooding without pause. "Please, just open the door." "Let me explain. It wasn't what it looked like." "I'm not going anymore. I'll cut ties with whoever you want. Just talk to me." I stared at the screen. Numb, her words poured in, but none of them landed. She claimed it was meaningless, that it didn't matter. But if it truly meant nothing, why hide it? Why lie to me, to my face, and pretend it was just a visit to see family, while planning a getaway with someone else? I felt paralyzed, trapped in a loop of questions I couldn't escape. Was our entire relationship a mirage? Did she love me the way I loved her? Or was I just a stand-in until she figured things out with someone she never really let go of? Was I the convenient choice, stable, safe, and always available, while her heart wandered elsewhere? I never responded. I didn't unlock the door. I didn't send a single reply. Hours passed. She kept knocking, sobbing, pleading. Eventually, the sound faded. But that wasn't the end. Not even close. In the weeks that followed, the text continued. Every morning, I'd wake up to a stack of unread messages. She no longer tried to hide her desperation. The messages were short, raw, and came at all times of the day. Please talk to me. I didn't mean to hurt you. I miss you. One night, close to midnight, she wrote, I know I don't deserve another chance, but I'll keep asking until you tell me to stop. I never blocked her. I rarely even opened the messages. Just glimpsed the previews on my lock screen, then set the phone back down. The urge to respond was real. I had loved her. I still did, in a way. But every time I came close to replying, I remembered what she chose to do. Then one weekend, there was a knock at my door. At first, I didn't move. I just sat there on the couch, waiting for her to give up and walk away. She didn't. She knocked again, more firmly this time. Then came her voice, soft but strained. Vincent, please. I'm not here to fight. I just need to talk. Still, I didn't answer. I waited in silence. She stood there for what felt like an eternity. 15, maybe 20 minutes. Finally, I heard her voice crack. You were right. I messed up, but please at least let me explain. I opened the door. She stood there, eyes red, voice shaky, hands trembling slightly as she began to speak. She admitted everything. Said she'd been emotionally lost. That it wasn't love, just confusion. She missed that chapter of her life and didn't know how to handle it. She confessed to the lies. Said she never thought I'd find out, which is why she felt safe enough to go behind my back. She kept repeating that it wasn't serious, that it didn't mean anything. But if it truly meant nothing, why go so far to hide it? I didn't interrupt. I just let her talk, every last word. When she finally ran out of things to say and looked at me, waiting for some kind of verdict, I asked the only question that mattered. Would you have told me if I hadn't seen those messages? Her face changed. Her lips parted slightly, then closed. She looked at the ground. Her eyes welled up again, but she didn't speak. Not a single word. In that silence, I got my answer, louder than anything she could have said. If I hadn't gone through her phone, she would have gone on with the weekend, returned like nothing had happened, and kept planning our future. I stepped back. She looked at me with a sliver of hope, maybe thinking I'd say it was okay, that I'd forgive her. But I didn't. I said, then this engagement was built on lies, and I can't build a marriage on that foundation. She opened her mouth to respond, but I raised a hand, not to silence her harshly, just to signal that I was done. Calmly, I told her, please don't message me anymore. Don't come here again. Let this be the end. Then I turned away, closed the door, and locked it. She stood there for a moment, eyes filled with regret, then left. People always say love is built on trust. I never imagined I'd find myself questioning everything I thought was real. But when I uncovered what Casey had been hiding, it wasn't just my trust that broke. It felt like the love itself shattered. It's wild how you can be so sure of someone. You make plans, invest your time, pour your heart into something, and then it's all gone in an instant. That's what stings the most. That betrayal wasn't some minor slip-up. It was proof she was capable of hiding something that big. And it made me wonder how much of what we shared was ever truly real. Betrayal doesn't just destroy trust. It gnaws away at every memory, every tender moment, every piece of the bond you thought was solid. Even now, I find myself rewinding moments in my head, wondering, was that genuine? I won't pretend I've healed completely. I haven't. But I do know this much. I deserve honesty. And I won't settle for anything less. Now I'm turning to you. What would you have done if you were me? Do you think I handled things the right way? Or is there something I missed? Some path I should have taken instead? Drop your thoughts below. Let's talk about it. Because someone out there might be living through something just like this. And your voice might be exactly what they need to hear.